Hello everyone, Carlos Flores back on basics. Feeling a little bit better. If you if you have watched the videos, and I know that a number of you have watched the last three videos. The last three videos that I've done actually have shown my trajectory of my illness, and so you can see the pale me, the less pale me, all the way up to today, which is the fourth video after I got sick. And so one of the things that was suggested is to talk about how to know your limits, and that's one of the learn, especially being ill this whole winter break. And literally, I was ill this whole winter break. Remember, yesterday I told you in my last video that I was positive for COVID, and so I had to rest. I literally had to rest. A lot of the times I'm not that type of person. My mind is always like going and going and going. And then I've been adding the exercises, the 5 mile walks, the 6 mile walks, the 4 mile walks. And so I had to stop everything because I didn't want to get sicker. I didn't want to worse. And so, knowing your limits is very important because you have to realize that your body is telling you when is enough. The problem is that most of us can't tell that. And that's another thing that you have to realize about you and about mind body balance is that you have to know when to stop. Because if you don't, then you're going to expose yourself to tiredness. You could potentially get sick, and so you want to make sure that, as I've been talking about in the other videos, is having that mind body balance, right? Having your mind sharp and having your body fit. And I don't say fit as in like the looking part, it's more of like healthy. I should just say healthy because it's healthy is a very important part. Um, Told you the stories of me last year, and last year I went through COVID also right around this time. It's usually right around this time, and it was a lot harder. I wasn't really in tune with myself. I was beginning to start to lose weight around that time because I was walking more and more at Dixon High School where I was working at that time. But at the same time, I didn't know how to limit myself. So sometimes I push myself way beyond and I become susceptible to tiredness or sickness. And so I think that was my pattern before. As I have been losing weight and being able to do more. It's interesting that what I the little things that you notice, right? As I've lost weight, I've been walking more upright because I feel like my stomach didn't pull me down with gravity down, and so I was actually straining my back for a number of years, and so those are the things that we have to be aware of. We get so used to it that we don't. We get so used to it that that's an everyday thing, but it's not. And that's the hardest thing for us to learn as human beings is how to limit ourselves to do that. And it's okay to go beyond a certain point and beyond your limit from time to time. Then go day in, day out, and you do things that's gonna make you vulnerable to sickness and other stuff. Then you need to know how to do that. Um, and at the same time, when when you're trying to when you're trying to balance your life, you also have to know the limits of other aspects of it, right? When you're going to school, you have to understand that at a certain point, say you're doing a test and instead of studying little bits at a time and getting used to it, you cram it all in one night. You know that at certain point your body's gonna say, I'm tired, that's it. And once you get to that state, you're not gonna be able to get a lot of things memorized. to get ready for that test. And so you have to also know that. Those are some of the limits that a lot of us just haven't really paid attention to. But as I've been talking in other videos, I've been telling you to listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to everybody around you. Remember, your support system is telling you things that they see from their perspective. It's not your perspective. It's their perspective. And so you have to listen to people. You have to listen to your body. You have to listen to yourself. You have to listen to your mind, because there are limits. You don't want to get sick. You don't want to go beyond beyond what you can do at that point in time. Because there are times, again, and I'm going to say this again, you can push yourself to do a little bit more or a lot more. And you'll know when that happens. And so, but there are other times where you can't. Like for me, these last few days, I haven't done anything. I've been laying down, sleeping, resting, just resting. So that way I can get ready, because I have to get back to work on Monday. But at the same time, I want to get better physically. So, yeah, just understand that you have to look at your cues around you, and your cues that your body's telling you and your mind is communicating, because there are limits to what you can do and what you can't do. And so it doesn't mean, again, and I'm going to say this for the third time, it doesn't mean that you can't push beyond and you can't go beyond, but you still have to be mindful that when you're doing that, you are actually exerting extra energy, extra mind power, extra whatever you're exerting out, and your body may become a little bit weaker or more vulnerable to getting sick. So knowing your limits is very important. Knowing your limits on how to also deal with things. And I could do a separate video on knowing your limits, because there are other things that knowing your limits is actually a huge topic that could be broken up into multiple parts, because there's other things that you have to know your limits at work. You have to know your limits, right? What to do, what not to do. Just because you have all the experience in the world doesn't mean that you're going to be doing everything for everybody, or people are going to expect you to do a lot more. But you have to realize that you have to stay within the confines of your job description. And yeah, you can go above and beyond and help in different ways, but not to the point where you feel like fatigued and you feel like you don't want to go to work. Again, know your limits. And those are some of the other aspects that you have to start thinking about. So, in summary, listen to your mind, right? Think about, okay, what is this going on? Is this too much that I'm doing at this point? And is this my limit? Listen to your body. My body has told me during these days that I've been sick that it doesn't want to do anything. There was one day that I was able to walk because I felt a little bit better, but the next day I started coughing and it went back to like, nope, I'm not going to even attempt to walk a little bit inside the room. And that's not my regular stuff. And so you have to understand, you have to listen to your mind, you have to listen to your body, you have to listen to your support system. And some of us are very stubborn and don't listen, and I get it. But you have to listen, and you have to take it and understand that that's coming from their perspective, and that's a perspective that you don't see. So be mindful and listen and process it and just think about it. You can't just deny it, just think about it. Again, if you're doing something, if you're at work, if you're doing some other kind of job, some other volunteer job, know the limits of that job and just go above and beyond. And I get it, right? We all want to do great. We all want to help people out. We all want to do things that will get us ahead. But remember, if you tire yourself out or if your mind gets so bogged down with worrying about doing too much or the things that you're doing in your job or in your volunteer work, that eventually you're not going to be able to want to go, or you're going to stop going, or you're going to stop doing. And so knowing your limits will keep you there so that way you can still move on. Remember, your goal is to move forward and complete your goals. And that's another video that I did. So knowing your limits again is very important. Listen to yourself, listen to others, listen to your support group, right? And again, listen to your mind, your body, because they are communicating to you when you are getting to that point or even before you get to that point. So again, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that way you can get notified when new videos come on board. I'm still doing one video per day. And so I believe there's over 80 videos now in the library. Take advantage of those because they're different topics. There's different opinions of what those topics mean to me and what I think would benefit you. Hit the like button to say that you like this video so that way I can do more videos kind of like this topic or similar to this topic. And if you have a specific topic that you want me to give you my opinion on, then put it in the comment section and I'll be happy to do so. So until next time, Back on Basics.